So basically what we're doing, Atlas is a new app store. We focus on prioritizing socially and locally relevant app recommendations to people. This is important right now because right now within the app space there's literally millions of apps, and how our competitors have set up their stores is these millions of apps are competing for just a few top spots because our competitors employ largely prioritize like a top list model, stuff like top paid, top free, top grossing, and they're essentially fighting for these top spots. So only those usually with the largest marketing budgets achieve success and get into these lists to begin with. And it's a problem because due to this structure, there's a lot of dead weight loss because most apps never find their niche audiences. So we feel that we can correct that, kind of incorporating more of a geo aspect and recommending apps to people based on what's going on around them, and just being more like socially relevant and better connecting apps in a more individualized approach rather than just kind of this shotgun where you hope to get into a top list, and then as a user you hope to just happen to find what you're interested in. Because according to like a study by Metakite, your rank within these lists directly correlates with your app's ultimate success. So we're trying to change that model.
And how exactly, technically?
Sure. So,
maybe you can show me the app, or
yeah. I'll show you kind of like our map function here. So what's interesting is this is kind of just one way to really search for this stuff. So like it's interactive. Like a user can see it. So right now I have pulled up Los Angeles. You can see where apps would physically pertain to. So right now you can see that I would hit the Hollywood Bowl, like I can see that app, that's cool. But check this out. I'm on now like the USC campus. Mm-hmm. So if I was a student, I could see, apps relevant to, say if I want to get to, a USC sports game, I can see right on the campus, like a USC transportation app. I can see, USC football apps, like where the stadium would be. And this could be useful to like onboard new students, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But then you can filter by exactly what you're interested in.
So wait a second, so you're I don't understand the technique of this. So you're trying to replace, well, not to replace, but to make something which is better than Apple Store, right? The App Store for applications for the App Store, right?
Yeah, we're basically starting with Android because it's not like vertical.
Okay,
like
Android,
Apple,
yeah.
iOS,
So Google Play, right?
Yeah,
so you're kind of trying to replace Google Play.
Yeah.
So instead of opening Google Play to download new app, I will open your stuff, your application, and download it from there.
Yeah, just basically an alternative channel, because our argument is that you can't, with one store, successfully connect millions of apps to billions of people.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got it. But still, what's the? Can you open your app? Is it ready, or it's still in development? Okay.
Also, like use, like if it's popular within a certain area, we can highlight something like that. So you can see what people in your area are interested in.
That's a different story. So you can show me what's the most popular app in my particular place, like in Palo Alto.
Yeah, I mean
what's the most used app right here when I'm located here?
Yeah,
and then I move to France, and then boom, suddenly in France it's a completely different set of apps, right?
Yeah, correct. The point is that there's a lot of ways that a user can interact with this map interface. Like we're not, this is just a demo. We're not focusing really on these other features other than for profiles. But like for this, the whole point is, hey, you could say, oh, I want to filter by category. I'm only interested in transportation apps for this area, or I just want to see what's popular in this area. You could filter by price. You could filter by a lot of things.
Yeah, that makes sense to me now. So if I'm a traveler and I move somewhere else, let's say to Chicago, then I'm interested to know what people in Chicago are using more frequently than in San Francisco. Yeah, so maybe there are local restaurants, maybe local transportation, like you said, maybe like.
Yeah, I would also mention that.
How would you be able to collect that information? How do you know
information from what?
From like what's the most used app in this area?
Yeah, well, I mean, like in being a store, we would be able to obviously see, what are the downloads within this area, and just
through your app.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And how are you planning to promote that? How are you planning to find developers? I'm not talking about 5 developers, but 500, 5,000.
Yeah.
What's the strategy to promote all that?
Yeah, just a combination of like social media and also just like attending developer meetups in the area. Luckily, there are a lot of good free resources to do that, and also Chris, my co-founder, is like very familiar with the digital marketing space, and he plans on. We have a pretty good strategy on like how to reach out to them and communicate what we're doing and how we can help out with that.
Do you have any experience from doing some mobile apps before to make them popular?
Well, I worked at a health tablet company prior to doing this, and I mean that was like an interesting space. I helped like kind of do like a lot of research for them and like kind of discuss like their business model. But really, this is like the first like real project that I myself am doing. But we feel comfortable that our background is like knowledgeable enough to do it. My other co-founders have like experience like building hybrid apps and like working with databases and stuff. So we feel that we can get it done.
And we have. Can you show me some of the competition, like some similar apps which do the same or similar things?
Well, I'll just bring
compete
up,
with Google Play. Let's put it this way. My biggest concern now is how you're going to make that popular. What's the strategy? I mean, because there's no big intellectual like value in this. So you're not like really inventing something like new technology or something which will potentially will make it like popular overnight. I don't think it's going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen. So now we're in a position where the market hasn't said a word yet. So we don't have any downloads. We don't have any like thousands of users. We don't have a negative answer. We don't have a positive answer. So what we have right now is just a piece of application, which is quite. I mean, it's not so complex. It's not so difficult. It's just a mapping feature from Android, and then you put something from the database of apps. It's not so difficult. So now you've done like 5%, and 95% is still unknown. So we don't know what's going to be the reaction of the market. So now for you as a founder of that, or the group of people who are the founders, you need to invest your own time, and probably not money, but time or something, in order to get some feedback from the market. So you need to bring this feedback from the market on the table. Because right now you haven't made that investment yet so far, you personally.
Well, we have done like surveys, and like it indicates that
surveys, yeah,
well,
but
fair, but we have done research in this. It's not unfounded. There is a preference for local.
You've done something, of course, you've done something, but still, the market is the market. So for me as an investor, I want to jump in when it's not about that. I'm not saying that I want to jump in when everything is proven. That would be too late. If everything was proven and the application is on the market already on top, you're not going to come to me. You would be successful by yourself. But definitely I want to jump in when there's a lot of unknowns. But I don't want to jump in when there's nothing, there's too little investment was made before me by the founders. Because right now the risk is huge, and giving you like say $20,000, I should be like 50% owner of the company or 60% owner of the company. Because my risk is, because right now you're too small, the company is too small, and the unknown is so big, the market has not reacted yet. So I'll take a lot of risk on my shoulders, and I want to take a huge part of the company, which is not what I want to do. It's not because because you will say no, but because I don't want that. I don't want to own 50% of the company. I want to own 2% or 1%. That's what I want to own. And I don't want 50. But in this case, this is a situation. So you need to resolve that unknown a little bit somehow. So take some time, maybe a little bit, wait some time, or do some promotion, or get some ads, but get some traction. And then you will have a product with it's not that I'm saying that you need traction in order to prove me that it works, but you need to get traction in order to understand where you are. Maybe you will come back and say, we have traction and the market is reacting negatively, for example, now, but we understand that if we develop that kind of feature, for example, then the market will react better, maybe. In that case, I'll still see that you already invested something into this experimenting, into trying out and seeing what's the reaction will be. Because right now you just made a product, which is this is my typical answer to mobile phone, the mobile app developers. They think that developing the app is the key to success. But I'm saying developing an app is like many people can do it right now. It's so easy. If the app is not something really new, like this Prisma app, for example, which is kind of fresh now in the market. Or like some app which does something which nobody else did before. In your case, they did it before. We have this, marketplaces. We have that solution.
These features do not exist.
Not exactly that feature, yes,
Yeah.
but still the marketplace where people can find an app. So maybe that feature, I don't know, I'm not a regular user, I'm not a typical customer of yours. Maybe that feature will just boom the market and everybody will say like, hey, let's forget the Google Play, let's go jump into the Atlas app.
Yeah.
Maybe that will happen, but it's highly unlikely that this is, I mean, it's not highly unlikely, but the probability of that is not really, it's not typical. It doesn't happen typically, usually. So what I'm saying is that in your case, there's a lot of lottery thing involved, a lot of gambling component. So that's my suggestion. So don't think about this as a certain thing. In most cases, that kind of applications, they just fail. So you need to try and try and try. You don't know which application which you do will actually get a success on the market. So you've done this one, put it on the market, see what happens, and be ready that it will fail. You will get no result from the market, no luck. Then you create another one, try again, a different idea, put it on the market again, no reaction again, put it on the market another one, and maybe on the application number 7, maybe the market will react and say, boom, we like it, and then come back to investor and say, hey, we've done experiments. I tried this, they didn't work, but now this one works, and now give me the money, give me the cash, and I'll move forward. In that case, I will say, yeah, wow, I see your investment. I see that you tried. I see your investment of your time. You invested some of your money, some of your time, maybe part-time, I don't care. But now I understand that you finally got some success factor. You found it, you got it from the market. And now, based on that factor, plus your energy, plus your ability to build a good app, then we can combine them together, plus my money, then we can move forward.
Well, I know that you do like very early stage investments. This isn't totally unproven. We do have a small group which is using this now. They have reacted positively. Which is
great.
Is there potentially like any amount that we could get out of this interview?
No, for me it's too early. Like I'm saying, it's like, for me it's like pure gambling. Because in most cases, I honestly believe that most products like this, they just fail. And this is normal. This is how the market should work. So most of these products, they fail. And some of them succeed. And I just don't see, I mean, I'm not saying the product is bad or good. I'm not the one to judge that because I'm not the market. I'm not a typical user, so I cannot say how these users will react. Maybe they will say, wow, that's great. Maybe they will say like, no, they will say nothing. So it's just, for me, it's too early, and just come to me when you have at least something, at least some reaction. I mean, from real market. I can go to the App Store, to the Google Play and see, okay, there's reviews there, there are downloads there, this is statistics. Wow, it happens. I mean, it's alive. Now it's kind of dead before. Now it's not born yet. It's not dead, but it's not born yet. So make it alive, put it on the market, see the reaction, and then come back.